Hey everybody, welcome to this quick start setup guide to the paddle bass. Incredibly small and great sounding bass instrument created by me in association with the people at Kalani Musical Instruments. So we're going to get you set up and going on the paddle bass. Now first of all, you have to have the bass plugged in, of course. It is an electric bass instrument. So this is plugged into an amp and then you'll be able to hear it. It sounds like this. And we're going to talk about the fret markers because that is an innovative feature of the instrument. I'll answer your questions about how to get it set up, how to get the fret guides in place, and how you can use the different fret guides if you want to use different ones. What I recommend right off the bat is to use what we call the open F fret guide, which is the one that is in between the low E and the G fret guide. If your fret guide is not in place, you want to get that set in place. And this one is the one that we tune to the F, open string. And you know it's the F because this first note over here is your G. Of course, the G would be the first fret position. These are diatonic marker guides. However, this is a chromatic instrument, so you can play in any key at any time, no matter which of these guides you have in place. The guides are here to help you quickly find the notes that you want to find. And the F guide, the one that starts with G, as the first colored area, has all of your basic white key notes, except for B flat, which is also a very common chord in ukulele playing. So if you're playing in an ukulele ensemble, or you want to play with Orff instruments, or in very common keys that are used in music education, ukulele clubs, etc., you want to go with the F fret guide because that has all of your white key notes like F, G, A. B is in between B flat and C, so you can play that right here. And then C, etc., up the scale. But note, this is a chromatic instrument, so it's fretless. You can play any note at any time. So let's go up chromatically from F to F sharp, up the scale. All right, you get the idea. Now, some of you might ask, well, why not have one where you can tune the low note to a C? Why not have an open C tuning? Well, the reason for that is the size of the instrument. You know, some instruments, like alto saxophone as opposed to tenor saxophone, they're not all octaves apart. We can't put everything with a C as the low note. Because of the size of the instrument, F or E or G work best as your low note. If we tuned it to C, it would be really, really low or too high, and it wouldn't sound like a bass. So you can think of this as like an alto instrument, if you will. So C is right in the middle, and that gives you the option of using a 4 and a 5 below C or above. If you want to set up the instrument with low C as the open note, or your C as your open string, you can capo it. You can put a clamp right there in the middle, and then C will be your open string. So if you wanted to make it super easy for people to play, you know, C with C as the low note or the open note, then you could do that, just capo C. This one it starts on F, and that gives you all of your most common bass notes. Because as you know, when we play the ukulele, we're usually playing chords that would be rooted in the white keys of the piano. So G, you know, G here, G minor, G7, G major, and then A, you know, A minor, A7, A major. So all of those keys. Now we do have B flat marked on here, but of course B would be right in between B flat and C, like I mentioned a moment ago. So you do have access to all the notes, but really when we play ukuleles in the classroom, or you have a ukulele club, or you're playing, you know, mostly with Orff instruments or common, you know, music education settings, we're going to be playing with C, F, G, A, D, E, as our root tones for whatever chords we're playing, whether those are major, minor, dominant 7 chords. So the F fret guide is really the one you want to go to most of the time. If you're playing with guitar players who are playing in sharp keys like E, you might want to change it out. And the way you can do that is move the string out of the way. You can take a pen, or I have a little nail here, just go underneath the fret marker. This comes out very easily. It's a magnetic strip. You can, for example, put in the one with an F sharp as the first note. That's marked, and of course the open string in that case would be E. So this gives us access to, the more common roots that would be in the key of E. So F sharp, G sharp, A, B, etc. We also have a fret marker or fret guide that is rooted on G. So if you wanted to have G as your open note, then you have A, B, C, D, E, and then we have an F sharp. But the point is, you can access any note you want at any time. When you put in the fret markers, make sure that they're all the way down towards the nut and they fit right in that little slot. Very easy to change out. I have a little nail, like I said. You can use a pen or whatever to change your fret markers. And then you can play whatever you want to play. Chromatic notes. The paddle bass sounds great. It can take the place of large, bulky Orff bass bars, big keyboards. It's not as complex, as electric bass, although it does serve as a kind of gateway instrument for playing the electric bass. You can certainly play the paddle bass on the floor, on a table. You can hold it up like a regular bass. We use the Bookmwhacker colors to make it quick and easy to find the main notes that you're going to want to have for your ensembles, whether, again, those are Orff ensembles, folk music groups, ukulele clubs, whatever you need. And, you don't have to know how to play the bass to play the paddle bass. Anybody can step up and start playing right away. I hope this has been helpful. I want to congratulate you on getting your hands on literally a paddle bass. If you have any questions for me, you can find me at kalanimusic.com. You can also contact the folks at Brand Musical Instruments with your questions, and I'll leave a link below this video to purchase your very own paddle bass. I'm Kalani Das. Thanks for watching, and happy music making.